But I'm not working with them. We need to start using common sense. A lot of you have chaos in your house because you're working with chaotic spirits. One, some that you aren't even equipped to work with. Two, you haven't even done the divination. You really don't even know what's going on in your own household just because you want to be a part of something and you want to feed your ancestors, but you're not even divining and doing the work to find out, okay, is this the ancestor that I should be working with? Do I want to work with this ancestor? Why, as a black person, would you want to have an altar and sit your white slave master ancestor on your altar amongst all of your black ancestors? Does that make sense? Make it make sense. It does not. It does not. It's all about divining, tapping in, doing work. I'm really big on genealogy and doing ancestry work. So I tap into my family tree and I see what's going on there. That's how I know a lot of my ancestors. And plus my parents are old. My mom passed away at 53. My father is 68 years old. So, and long age lives in my family. That's just how we are in my family. We live long. So it's easy for me to go back to my family and ask questions about people that they knew coming up that may not be here anymore. And so I just write it down. I go on Ancestry.com. I took the test, whatever. It connected me with other people and other information where I can learn a lot about myself and my ancestors. But once you start doing ancestral veneration and you start tapping into your ancestors, they're going to reveal themselves to you in due time. So for those of you who don't know who your ancestors are, if you begin the process, begin setting up the altar and just creating a space for any of my known or unknown ancestors, just reveal yourself to me. You'll begin to go and hang out with family and someone might mention it. Something might come up across Facebook. You never know, but you will come in contact with who your ancestors are and you will divine and learn who to work with and who not to work with. We don't want to, we want to be witches, we want to be spiritualists, but we gotta have common sense. You know what I'm saying? We have to have common sense. And the good thing about spiritualism is that there is no by the book when it comes to spiritualism. There is no book of rules. There is no how to do it. Now, there are patterns and there are, collective ways due to different cultures, how people can do things, but moving off of your spirit, moving basis off what your intuition is telling you to do and doing exactly what you feel is right with you is the most important thing at all time. At all time. Utilizing books for standard and basic information is okay. At the end of the day, move by your spirit. Everything does not have to be ceremonial and ritualistic. It does not. Your first ancestral altar is going to be yourself. Period. And in order to work that ancestral altar, which is yourself, you have to start cleansing yourself, wearing more white, indulging in the things that your known ancestors might have indulged with. Treat yourself as a temple. A lot of us, we don't treat ourselves as a temple. We eat whatever, we do whatever, we have sex with just anybody. We act like we don't love ourselves, but we like to say we love ourselves. But our actions is saying something completely different. Just completely different. So how do you feed your ancestors? So for me, I have an ancestral altar set up. My mom gets food. If you look on my page, I do have a video on how to set up an ancestral altar. Alcohol, candles, food, fruit. I'll give her a little candy. Just consistently giving them the energy that they can feed off of. Like the 7-day candle that I put on my mom's altar 3 days ago is completely out now. But all the other 7-day candles that I lit 3 days ago are still going. My mom is really eating up that energy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another candle up there. But she's going to have to wait a day or two. Ain't nobody tell her to suck up all the energy like that. She be acting greedy. So she be acting a little greedy. But you know your ancestors. So you know what to do and what not to do. I promise you they will tell you. Some days I wake up and I'm like, damn. I want some Spam. I don't even eat Spam. My mama did. That wasn't me. My mama wants some Spam. You want me to go get you a can of Spam and put on you? I got you, mama. I got you. You just have to listen and tap in and just know exactly what you're doing. For instance, my mom, she was a big fan of Reese's Cups. I like to put Reese's on her altar. Oh, fuck me. My mom was a cook, so she don't like takeout. So if my mama wants some food, I gotta cook it for her. I can't give her no takeout. She don't. But my mom doesn't like takeout. She doesn't like canned food. If it's not something cooked by hand, she don't want it. Yeah, y'all. So definitely ancestral veneration is definitely perfect, especially if you are a person of color We do not have much information from our past because they tried to say they burnt up so much shit about African Americans or Black Americans, Afro, whatever they wanted to call us. Whatever. Them white folks still got them damn schedules and whatever they got in their household. They keep them as memoirs. I don't know why, amongst their family. So, and remember to remain grateful at all times. So whenever your job pisses you off, be mindful of what you say. Because at one point, we didn't have a job. And we needed one. So now that we got it, we got to be mindful when shit pisses us off to remain grateful. Because it can get taken away from us just as quickly as it was given to us. So we have to always remember to remain grateful in all situations, even in negative situations. I almost got arrested the other day. I was driving, didn't even know, y'all. Didn't know my tags was all messed up, y'all. Just didn't even know. I had weed paraphernalia on me. And they stopped me, pulled me over, searched my car. And I'm on the phone with my sister. And I'm thinking to myself, like, God, I've been in your face. I've been obedient as hell lately. You is not doing this right now. I'm going to need for you to move in favor with me. I don't want my car towed. I ain't trying to get arrested. I'm over here texting my man like, babe, you might have to come and get me. You feel me? They about to take me. I got weed and shit in my car. The man came over. He said, well, we're not going to arrest you. He said, we're not going to tow your car. We're not even going to write you a bunch of tickets. I'm going to give you a warning. Pull over. Pay your insurance. And get your tags fixed. Now, mind you, my birthday was a couple of days ago. I did not realize I had to go and get the sticker. Didn't even realize my fucking shit was expired. Pulled over, got the shit together, and was like, God, I thank you for favor. Because for anybody else, that could have went any other way. But for me, all I got was a warning and got to keep everything. So I had to, in that moment, remain grateful. And my man, he came out his mouth and was like, you always talking about favor, but you still got pulled over. I said, yeah. I said, because, sweetheart, if you would have got pulled over, your ass would have got arrested. You would have got arrested. Me? Oh, I just got a warning. I just got a warning. That's what you call favor. That's what you call favor. It doesn't stop human experiences from happening. What it does is the supernatural creeps in. And in order to get supernatural, because everybody prays for miracles, but we don't pray for supernatural miracles, where things just happen in situations where it normally wouldn't happen. Baby, I pray for supernatural miracles. I be on some supernatural shit, on my supernatural mindset. So supernatural miracles happen for me. Period. I was supposed to get locked up, baby. I had weed on me. But I didn't. I got a fucking warning. My car was supposed to get towed. My tags and my insurance was bad. But I didn't. That's what you call favor. Not a lot of people can say they walk in that. Yup. And I got to be more careful while driving. And another thing, my spirits was telling me to be still. I need to be still. I'm always ripping and damn running. Always ripping and damn running. There's always a reason behind everything. And as a spiritualist, it's your job to figure out what that reason is. That's why being discerning is very important. You have to discern what's going on around you. Every single thing that happens in your life is happening for a reason. Nothing is happening without happenstance. Everything has a purpose. And as a spiritualist, it is your job to tap into what that purpose is. Whether it's a message for you, because again, we talked about this before. Spirit does not just communicate the way we communicate. Not like this. Spirit communicates with everything around us. That's why being aware is very important at all times. Knowing what's going on at all times, spiritually and naturally, is important at all times. Tapping into your awareness at all times and not having a victim's complex, but having a complex of a victor. No matter how hard you fall as a spiritualist, it is your job to get yourself back up and continue pushing it as if ain't shit just happened. Because you understand whatever just happened, it happened for a reason. So, it's not that big of a deal. When shit happen, you got to be like, it is what it is. I'll get past it. It is what it is. Hey, Dave. A lot of us who do want to tap into spirituality and get more on the spiritualist journey, we have to understand that self-accountability is important and get out of the woe is me. So many people are always talking to me and they're like, well, this is happening to me and I'm going through this and da-da-da-da. I'm just sitting here like, where were you at in the situation? What could you have done differently in the situation? Because we're looking at everything else. We're looking at other people. We're looking at external forces. We're not looking at us at all. We're not. So we're overlooking the healing. Because if we can't see where we erred in it, we're just going to repeat the cycle. We're going to repeat the process. It's going to be a pattern. And we're going to consistently go through it. We're not going to elevate, and we're stunting our growth. We're stunting our healing process. And sometimes we're going to even be operating out of a spirit of delusion, because we're going to be thinking that we're going somewhere that we're not, simply because we can't see past our own issues, because everything else is everybody else's problem. Nothing is our issue. Nothing is our fault. We do no wrong. Why? Because we have ancestral altars. No, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. Spiritualists, we are just as fucked up as people who are not on this journey. It's our job to recognize what's fucked up about us and work on it proactively. And we do it differently than other people. It is what it is. But if you can't even identify what that is, then you missing the entire point. You're missing the point. You know, and it's just like, what's the point in being a part of this journey if you're just gonna miss the point? Generational curses. So a lot of us are gonna be repeating patterns. We're gonna be repeating patterns that our parents repeated, that our grandparents repeated, simply because they didn't have the information and knowledge thereof to break that generational curse. But so many of us consider ourselves generational curse breakers, but has anybody actually defined what a generational curse breaker is and does? Because I think what's going on is a lot of people say, oh, I'm leaving the church and I'm getting into ATRs and spiritualism. I'm a generational curse breaker. No, you're not. Because you could have did the same thing as a Christian, as a Muslim, as a Jew, as a Buddhist. It doesn't matter what vehicle you take. But what actually makes you a generational curse breaker? People who say, wow, I'm the first person in my family to go to college. That's a generational curse breaker. Somebody who says, I'm the first person in my family to graduate high school. That's a generational curse breaker. A person who comes from a family who everyone has babies out of wedlock, or they all have teenage pregnancy. You're the first person to ever get married and have a baby. That's a generational curse breaker. Why? Because now that you rewired your brain, you're going to raise the next generation to think the same exact way that you think. So the old way of thinking no longer exists. You've started a whole new generation of new thinking. So simply just not being a Christian anymore, I mean, it doesn't matter. When it comes to spiritualism, it really don't matter what vehicle you take. It doesn't. I was talking to my sister the other day, and I was like, yo, there is a difference between a person who is moved by God and a person who is moved by religion. Because religious people, they have to prove themselves. You know what I'm saying? A person who is moved by God, whether they are a part of a religion or not, a person who is moved by God, you can see that energy off of them. I've been in the midst of some Christians who are so godly, you know, having a conversation with them as a root worker, as a spiritualist, it didn't offend them. It didn't make them feel any type of way. It was like two spiritualists sitting here having a conversation. We both understand spirit as one. We understand God as the source. We also understand that we both have two different vehicles that we are taking. And it's like, when you cannot separate your ego from your spirit, there is a problem. There is a problem. A lot of people know religion, but not a lot of people know God. Not for themselves. Not for themselves. They know who God is based off what someone else said. Not because they've actually experienced, you know, the love of God or that feeling of God within you. And I don't mean like Sky Daddy type God. That's not what I mean. But I'm talking about that consciousness, that Christ consciousness, that higher self of you, that ascended being, that light energy, that source, the creator, the beginning, the all. Feeling that oneness, that wholeness within you. It's a lot of religious people who don't know that. I know so many religious people who are fucked up in fucked up situations. Fucked up situations. They go to church every Sunday. They is holier than thou. You can't tell them nothing about their God, but they health out of whack. They finances fucked up. Ain't nothing in their life aligned. But that one person That one person who actually knows God and says, you know what, I don't need nobody else to tell me because I can go get it for myself. For whatever reason, they just always at peace. Whether they're a Christian or whether they're a spiritualist. I know some fucked up spiritualists. I know some spiritualists, some root workers, some conjure women I would never let touch me. Because, baby, listen. You got some healing to do. You got some healing to do. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what vehicle you take. It don't matter what vehicle you take. Thank you so much, Gerald. Hey, I miss you. Yeah, it don't matter what vehicle you take. Because, one, I have enough intelligence to know how the conversation gonna go if I open up my mouth anyway. I'm not about to sit here and argue who I am and my truth with nobody who doesn't even have the information thereof, the knowledge thereof, or the experience thereof to understand where I'm coming from. So I'm not about to combat my beliefs with you. Now, you might feel as if you have to prove yours to me because it might boost your ego because you realize you're in the presence of a person who has actually spoken to God and it offends you. Spiritually, it offends you, and I apologize for that. I apologize for that. Me and my spirits, we sorry you felt that way. That's why we just gonna sit back and let you do it. You know, but when it comes to the lines of disrespect, that's when it's gonna happen. As a spiritualist, it's your job to research and know what it is that you're getting yourself into before you get yourself into it. Don't just see some shit happening on TikTok and you be like, I'm about to do it too. Don't do that. You can send people into shock by what you say. You really can. You can send people into a shock, and you can also have people who are narcissistic who will try and make you seem like you're crazy. And a lot of young spiritualists, not young like in age, but young in spirit, they might not know how to handle that, and that could send them in a frenzy. A lot of us who go crazy when a person tries or a narcissist tries to tell us what happened when we really know what happened, in moments like that, we need to be quiet and let them have it. We just need to let them have it. We already know what happened, so we don't have to explain our piece. Yeah, don't tell me about your God if I don't ask. You know what I'm saying? If I don't ask you, you know, I can sit here and have a conversation with anybody about who they believe in, what they believe in, the experience that they have, and be over here like, yeah, and didn't do it. Ain't God do it. It ain't God do it. And be full. You will never know. I don't believe in Jesus Christ. Why? Because I respect what it is that you're saying, because your experience is your experience. If you had a supernatural experience with Jesus Christ, the deity, because that's all he is, just like Buddha, hello, the deity, then that's your experience. I'm not mad at it. You felt that. But what you can't tell me, what you can't say out your mouth is I ain't felt a supernatural experience with any of my spirits that don't look like yours. You could never tell me that, because then you be lying and you moving out your place. It's not that, oh my God, it's not that I can necessarily see them, y'all. And y'all, for those of y'all who know, you know, and I'm not lying when I say this, I be seeing, if I look you in your eyes too long, I can literally see your face shapeshift. And it's like, I've seen it happen. I've seen people turn into animals by their face just right in front of me. And the shit just be scaring me, like, because I'm still trying to figure out exactly what that is. I'm still trying to figure out what that is. But it's something about it. I don't know, y'all. Yeah, people will kill over the truth. They will. That's why as spiritualists, there's sometimes we need to be quiet. We need to be quiet. As a spiritualist, we will discern and pick up things on people that just don't need to be said. But it's trendy now. So if you're a seer and you're a psychic, you should tell everybody what you see. You should not. Sometimes it's best to keep our mouths shut. Look at who not to look at. Because you don't want to pick up on everybody's energy. You don't want to be able to tap into everybody's life like that, because that can come with a lot of trauma. And if you don't understand proper protection protocol, proper prayer protocol, how to cleanse yourself, then you're not ready for that type of energy. Because a lot of times it can be heavy. And when you look into someone else's energy, a lot of people are leeches. They can either leech onto you really quick. They can drop onto you, dropping loads. If you're a person and like people like to come up to you and just spill all their information to you, you got to be cleansing yourself, baby. You can't be taking on everybody's energy like that, because it's going to start weighing on you. And a lot of times, and I'm not trying to be that person, but if you think about it, a lot of people, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of people who are those people who you could just go to and talk to, aren't they big? Like the person you can go to that's like the mother or the father of the friend group, and you could just tell them anything and they kind of got the good advice, and they're just like super parental. Like they're a little big. It's like they're wearing that energy. They're wearing that. Thank you for the rose, Marcus. They're wearing that trauma that's being dumped on them on top of the trauma that they already have. Because a lot of people who wear that title have gone through a lot. That's the reason why they come off the way that they do. Absolutely.